Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson releases the 2018 crime statistics.
The leader of the opposition criticizes government's appointment of a director of communications.
The immigration minister talks about the recent influx of illegal migrants.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. The Royal Bahamas Police Force reporting an 8% decrease in crime overall. The figure was based on the 2018 crime stats that were released by Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson this morning. The top cop also responding to questions about police-involved shootings, as he insisted there are bound to be casualties in the war on crime. Jasmine Brown has the breakdown.
During that hour-long press conference, the commissioner confirmed that crime was down overall, while also insisting police officers are at war. Ferguson presented the annual crime statistics as he was accompanied by members of his senior team at a news conference that was held at police headquarters. Those statistics reveal that while there was an increase in attempted murder and rape cases, overall crime decreased by 8% to 2018.
It's much safer. It was much safer in 2018 than it was in 2017.
There were 13 attempted murders in 2017 compared to 19 in 2018, accounting for a 46% increase. Rape increased by 6% from 52 cases to 55 cases. As for the categories that trended downward, murder decreased by 25% from 122 in 2017 to 91 last year. Unlawful sexual intercourse fell by 23% from 146 to 113. Armed robbery dropped 18% from 575 to 474. Robbery decreased by 6% from 115 to 108. Attempted robbery decreased by 19% from 16 to 13. Overall, crimes against the person fell by 16%. Meanwhile, crimes against property decreased by 8%. Shop breaking decreased by 23%, stealing by 20%, and stolen vehicles by 19%. Ferguson says given the success achieved last year, there will be very little changes to his policing plan this year.
If something is working, there really, there's no need to really abandon it, but to enhance it. And that is all. That is why I indicated that there will be no major change. The key elements are still prevention, detection, apprehension, and preservation of the peace.
Noticeably absent from the statistics was the number of police-involved shootings in 2018. The commissioner was asked to provide statistics for those officer-involved shootings.
To be clear, are the police-involved shooting, those numbers are included in the packet, or?
No, they won't be included in there. No.
Why not?
It's a simple, as I said, Jasmine, they are action between the police and persons who we deem confront the police, and the police take the necessary action. Those matters are adjudicated at another level, and you have the numbers. We have the numbers. We're not afraid to tell you how much persons were fatally shot by police. We report them in the press as they happen, and so there are numbers that you can get from the Assistant Commissioner of Crime Management. And so he's available to give them to you once we're done here today. We'll be more than happy to do that. Today, yeah. You could get it today.
The most recent police-involved shooting happened on December 19, 2018. The commissioner was pressed on the overall issue.
In any war, there are casualties. And so if you are confronting the police, more than likely there would be casualties. And there is a judicial part of the system that will adjudicate over that.
Up to airtime, those statistics had not been released. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Well, Immigration Minister Brent Simonet said when talking about illegal migrants, there must be a conversation about how to deal with Bahamians who enable this practice. Simonet added that those caught entering the country illegally will leave with a criminal record. Jillian Gray has more.
Following the recent capture of over 300 Haitian migrants, Minister of Foreign Affairs Darren Handfield says he agrees with the Prime Minister, who said this recent influx of illegals is a threat to the Bahamas.
I heard someone say last night on the news that it's not a security threat. It is. That is why the issue of illegal migration is such a rife topic all across the globe. There's a threat to our national security along the lines of our economy as well. Socially, people come and they have to go to schools. That impacts us. They have to have health care. That impacts us. There are other issues where you have to focus your law enforcement in that particular area, which is a challenge for us. We're a small developing country.
Handfield added that as this problem has persisted for years, they are now taking their fight higher, noting that last year they began to work on diplomatic relations with the Haitian government.
Since then, not much has happened. Sorry, because in Haiti, there have been quite a number of disturbances which sort of distracted the government. But ultimately, we are working on all fronts to mitigate and alleviate this issue of unfettered Haitian migration into the Bahamas.
Handfield said Bahamians have been patient with this issue. Now, Immigration Minister Brent Simonet, while weighing in on the recent captures, said it's not unusual to have migrants trying to enter the country at this time of year. He added that in an effort to beef up the fight, the government has begun an RFP process for drones that will service the Southern Islands. That process should be complete by the end of the week. Now, as it relates to legislation, Simonet said Cabinet will be discussing the amended immigration law and hopes it leads to a wider discussion on the topic.
Guys ask me a question, it gets on the newspaper, then it goes away again. We really need to sit down and talk about immigration. How many non-nationals can be in this country? How long should you get a work permit for? If you're born here, does that automatically entitle you to some? So hopefully that will come out of the immigration bill.
The problem, Simonet says, rests with Bahamians, adding that it's Bahamians who are employing illegal migrants, and added to that, the trafficking of people, he says, is big business, earning in some instances $100,000.
They are not doing this alone. There are people that live amongst us that are facilitating these people. And one of the things the Immigration Act does deal with is harboring of illegal immigrants. And I ask Bahamian people, if you're concerned about it, to report anyone that you realize is harboring or facilitating these people being, and we will prosecute them accordingly, because they don't just turn up.
Those who come to the Bahamas illegally will not only be prosecuted and repatriated, but also slammed with a criminal record. Simonet added that those who traffic illegals will also be found and dealt with. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Opposition leader Philip Davis is slamming the Minister administration's appointment of a director of communications, saying the position is essentially redundant. Jared Hicks tells us more.
Yet another press secretary.
Davis says the appointment of Erica Wells Cox as Director of Communications represents another public relations professional added to the government's payroll.
We've always had a Director of Bahamas Information Services who's supposed to be handling communications of the government, and there's a complete department that was set up for that purpose. And then we had appointed, after the elections, a press secretary. And now we have the Director of Communications.
Anthony Newbold, who holds regular press briefings with the media, was named press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister 8 days after the 2017 general election. Kevin Harris was appointed Director of Bahamas Information Services at the start of 2018.
We have two persons and one whole department under the guidance and control of the Director of Bahamas Information Services doing the same job, all at the expense of who? Us, the Bahamian people.
Davis added that he welcomes Wells Cox to her new position and wishes her luck. However, he accused the Prime Minister of being reluctant to address members of the public.
Why is the PM, why is the Prime Minister afraid to speak directly to the public? The problem is not with the messenger. while we welcome the new director of communications, a new messenger will not fix the government's problems. The problem is the message.
Minnis says the appointment of Wells Cox is part of the government's ongoing program to communicate with the Bahamian public through the full range of communication platforms and media. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Well, the Department of Environmental Health is looking to fix the backlog of garbage to be collected throughout the capital. According to a statement sent out by the department's director, Melanie McKenzie, beginning next month, garbage collection will increase to twice per week. McKenzie said, "We anticipate that the new system will result in a much smoother collections operation and adequately address the extra buildup of garbage that is normally seen every year around the Christmas holidays." According to McKenzie, 8 contracted garbage collection companies worked overtime over the weekend to remove excess garbage. She's also reminding residents that the department does not collect garbage from commercial businesses or apartment buildings with 4 or more units. Well, as government continues its negotiations with web shop operators over a proposed sliding scale tax, Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar says, regardless of the outcome, the primary goal still stands. That, he says, is to increase the government's revenue from that sector.
Everybody in this country believes that the gaming industry is highly lucrative and feels that the Bahamian people or the government should have a greater take from it. There's no doubt of the social costs. There's no doubt that a significant portion of those that game have not spent their money wisely, and when they don't, they turn to the state for assistance. So, it just behooves the government to improve its take.
Still to come on Our News, we get an update on the controversial Oban heads of agreement. Plus, whatever happened to the missing file surrounding Oban Energies. We get more from police when Our News returns.